Hi, it's Joan. Today we're watching Heartstopper Season 3, Episode 3, Talk. And I hope there'll be a lot of talking about what Charlie's going through, for Charlie to talk about what he's going through in this episode. I love this show. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, edited version 1 week in advance, and let's go. He used to wear uniform to sixth form. Admittedly, they made us wear suits for uniform. To uniform, Jesus Christ. He used to wear uniform to sixth form, but we get to wear suits to our sixth form. Other sixth forms get to wear own clothes.
Since when did our dress code include trousers?
Well, the sixth form boys get to wear trousers, so why can't I?
You look so...
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think nowadays girls can wear trousers if they want to, right?
Seen each other all summer, so I hope we are.
I love that this shows that adults are just as awkward as kids.
No kiss? Hug first.
I heard they're going out.
Fuck them.
Come on.
It's your birthday on Saturday?
Sixth formers having the same form as people. I'm sorry, my brain. It's so weird because I went to a grammar school and I'm like, this is not how my grammar school operated. They go to grammar school. So funny. Yeah, sixth form you had. You separate sixth form. Like they were both years of the sixth form were merged into different forms. But
Yeah?
We're gonna organise something.
You don't have to.
No, I want to.
sweetheart.
It'll distract me.
See you at lunch then? Picnic benches?
You can just sit together.
It's gonna be okay. He's fortunate to have you.
He is. You should also be encouraging him to convince Charlie to talk to
Or we
somebody.
could eat in the art room.
I know, my love. You will get through this.
Mr. Ajayi, do you mind if I eat lunch in here today?
Yeah, of course.
My brain isn't good at the moment.
Oh, sweetheart.
That's okay, we all...
I'm so proud of him.
I have a lot of rules about...
Oh, sweetheart. Ugh. As a teacher, it's your worst nightmare, but also, like,
something bad.
your serious responsibility when a child opens up to you like this. I mean, I don't know what it's like in secondary school, but in primary school, you have to immediately go and write a safeguarding report about anything that remotely concerns you that a child has
What are
said.
you just talking about?
I don't want to think about it today.
Oh, sweetheart. You do need to talk about it. You can maybe give it a day, but you do need to.
I read a book where there was an aromantic character, and then I thought about what happened with us in Paris and stuff.
All right.
That's why having diversity in books is important. She's in such an impossible position because she invaded her brother's privacy.
I'm trying to help. Trying to get him to talk to your parents.
Okay. Well, thank you
It's just so, I mean,
for trying.
again, if she was gonna end up going up to him herself and say, hi,
If we go fast.
I know what's wrong with you because I looked at your laptop, it wouldn't go well, but he's so loved. I love this friendship group so much. At this point, he brings a book because everyone else is paired off.
Seems a bit gay to me.
He's in his head.
You in here?
Yeah, it's just like, I'm not a lady, it's weird.
Is she non-binary?
Oh no, looks like you're stuck with me again.
What does that even mean?
Well, it's just so painful for you to have to hang out with us.
I'm so sad about being single. What happened to James?
It's just how they're teenagers. He knows he's been wrapped up in his relationship. He knows he's been prioritizing that over his friends. That wasn't a very nice thing to say.
Cool.
Right,
I don't think Isaac did anything. I mean, Isaac could have maybe been a bit less like combative, but he didn't say anything that wasn't true.
Okay, Isaac.
Maybe we've been ignoring him and all of our friends.
I guess we have a bit.
But friends are important. You know this. You got angry at Charlie for doing the exact same thing we've been doing.
Kids.
I've had like romance goggles on. It's been great, but I've been a bad friend. So
I know that's not what I actually want. I guess I'm still just coming to terms with that.
Do you think there are any gay fish?
We grow up being so relationships and expecting that everyone's going to pair off and get married and have kids. It's such so normalised that when you realise that's not what you want,
What about the ones who
is a
don't
huge
fall
way
in
to
love with any
deconstruct and
gender?
change everything.
Do you think it changes everything I thought I knew about myself and about
And
my
that's
life?
okay.
and
You
my
have all
future?
the time in the world, sweetheart.
It's a process.
we love you.
I love you too.
I'm so happy because being able to talk about this now, if he is having a bad day, if he is struggling with thinking about his future and thinking about what it means, he can talk about it now. Is Charlie lightheaded or upset?
You know something, and you're not telling me.
Because
What's up with him?
it's Charlie's to tell.
I don't think I'm the one who should be talking to you about it. Because he can barely talk to me about it.
Just, it's awful because when you know someone you love is hurting, you want to be the one to be there for them and just not necessarily swoop in and save the day, but to be the one to comfort them and to help them. And the idea that like they're hurting and you know they're hurting and your job is to do nothing, is to just stand and watch, is awful. But as things stand in this exact moment, Tao going and trying to be like either getting the information from Nick or going up to Charlie and being like, hey, I know you're going through this soon, but I'm here for you, would really not help. Down the line, when Charlie is more able to talk about it, if Charlie is more able to talk about it, I hope he will be, that's when all of the wider friend group can help him and be there for him. And I think when you're the best friend, it can be really hard to realise that somebody else is now filling that role in your best friend's life, but he's not alone.
Gift for the best birthday ever. He reminded me of you.
You are so cringe.
Should we call it a day?
Yeah, can do.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Because he's tired. Oh,
I know it's cheesy, but
oh, it's
the rest of it's
beautiful.
blank, so
He's so sweet.
Sometimes you just seem really sad. And
You're doing so well, Nick, because
I
this
know
is
I've
so
made things
hard to
worse.
say and to hear.
I've said, I realise now that I just can't.
That's not because you can't be
I really
helped.
want you to talk to someone.
He loves you so much. You are so, so loved.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, darling, there's no reason to be sorry. No need.
I know it's hard. I know it's hard.
I'm so proud of both of you, and I love you both so much.
I just don't feel like I could ever get me better.
I know, baby, but I promise you, you can.
I promise you can. Maybe I could come with you.
Oh,
Probably less like
oh,
that's what I read.
you can do this, my darling.
I need to talk to you personally.
I'm so proud of you, Charlie.
My mental health has been really bad lately. I've been finding eating really difficult.
I'm so proud of you.
I feel like there's a voice in my head that's not me. Thinking
He's
maybe I could go
talking
to the
about
doctors
it.
about it.
This is so special. He's gonna be okay.
Maybe they could help.
He's gonna be okay, Dory. Charlie, you're gonna be okay. They love you so much.
I want to get better.
Oh, I know, baby. I'm just so proud of him because I know how hard that is. I mean, I've not been in Charlie's shoes, and I'm not trying to say I have been, but just this show is just handling everything so well, because they didn't sort of, I don't know, like obviously we didn't see what Charlie's parents said next, but you could see from their reactions that they were taking him seriously and they were very worried about him and that their hearts were breaking, because no parent wants to think their kid is suffering and has been suffering. No good parent. Start by saying I'm still really proud of Nick. I think this is such a tricky situation to be in when all you want to do is help somebody, but you're so afraid that if you do the wrong thing, you'll make it worse. And I think every step of the way in this episode, he did the absolute best thing he could for Charlie, and he has really helped Charlie feel safe and secure enough to admit to himself that he is struggling, exactly how serious what he's struggling with is, and to actually talk about it with his parents, which is so important. I'm so sorry I thought I'd get emotional when this plotline came up, but I just, I'm so proud of Charlie. It's never easy to admit that what's wrong with you, what you're dealing with is as serious as it could be, and the way he just, having Nick there as his support, like if I was Charlie's parents, I would no longer have concerns about Nick as a boyfriend for my son, because the way he came with him to do this thing, he held his hand, he was just being there and being solid and supportive. I would be like, okay, that seems like a solid boyfriend. But the way Charlie was able to just say everything, and obviously writing it down really does help, but explain himself and just admit that he wants to get better, that is such a big, huge step, because he's been scared. That part of why he's been so resistant to admit it is because he's scared that this is just how he is, that he is just broken, that he is just wrong, and that he cannot get better. And so him saying I want to get better is just so huge. I'm okay. I just really want to give him the biggest hug. And I think it will mean the world for Tori that he was to hear Charlie admitting to this, to know that he will get help, to know that he's not going to be struggling in the darkness on his own anymore, that he has people around him. And similarly to like when Tao wasn't sure what was going on, she wasn't the one to be there for him, she couldn't be there, but she did help him by alerting Nick that things had got bad while Nick was away. Like Nick had been kind of wondering if things were okay or not, but her kind of like urgent text was enough to make him kind of phone Charlie when Charlie was in that place where he then was able to finally say the words. And to her again, like, I just think she did what she could as well. And I just really, really respect how this show has handled every character dealing with this. Charlie, of course, most especially. I've never been, I haven't ever had an eating disorder, at the very least not to the extent Charlie has. My mental health isn't great, but I don't think it's ever been quite as dark as Charlie's is. But so I can't put myself fully in his shoes, and it kind of feels wrong to be like, I know what he's going through, because I don't. I can imagine, I have experienced portions of it and elements of it, I think a lot of us have. But the people who care about him, I can put myself in their shoes and the desperation to help him. And one of the things I love about this show is it lets the kids be kids. They feel like kids. And that ultimately they didn't just solve this problem by themselves. They went to adults. First Nick with his aunt, and then Charlie with going to his parents. Like, I think it is such a good message to send kids that even if you're scared, even if you think my parents won't understand, they will. I mean, obviously, if you're very, very unlucky like Darcy, they won't, but then there will be other adults that will, that go to adults. Adults will understand, they will help you. The right adults, the good adults will be there for you. I was really proud of Charlie when he started to open up to his art teacher. I kind of hope the art teacher like wrote some stuff down in a safeguarding note somewhere, because it was alarming what Charlie was saying. I don't even have thoughts about the rest of the episode. Like Tao and Isaac, I'm very, very glad that they patched things up and that Tao apologised for being kind of a shit friend, a bit like Charlie was. I don't hold any actually harsh feelings towards him for it, because it's young love. What are you gonna do? They all lose themselves to these things. But I'm really proud of Isaac for coming out to them or revealing his truth, and how scared he is by it, because in a lot of ways, figuring out why you are the way you are, whether it's figuring out you're neurodivergent or figuring out you're LGBT or figuring out you're asexual, aromantic, whatever element it is terrifying to suddenly, it is, sorry, initially it can be like a relief. It can be like, oh my god, there's a reason I'm like this. Oh, I'm not weird and broken and different. I am like this this is how I am. There's a like, not there's a label for it, but like I understand. Like I understand now why I am the way I am. But then when you realize that maybe because of those things, your future is not going to be the one that you thought you were going to have. Society raises us very much when we were little to be like, boys and girls get married and then have babies, and then maybe now it's a little bit more like, oh, and they can marry each other too. But for Isaac, his life is going to most likely look very different to the one he grew up expecting. Doesn't mean it's not going to be beautiful and perfect, but it does mean it's going to be different, and that is a lot to adjust to, especially when he's figuring this out at a point when all of his friends are in relationships. Like, if he'd figured this out 2 years previously, they were all single, so it wasn't like, it wouldn't have been as, I mean, it would have been like still a big deal for him to deal with, but at least he wouldn't be constantly surrounded by loved up couples. So I was really proud of him. I just think they handled this so well. Like, I think both in even adults watching this can get advice on how to help people, but kids watching this show, it's so important to think of all the kids out there who feel seen, and all the kids out there, if there are any kids who are worried that someone they care about has an eating disorder or is struggling with their mental health and doesn't know what to do, they can take advice from this. They can think, okay, find a safe place, voice my concerns, reassure them, all of the things that like Nick was doing. They can draw from Nick, and anyone who might be in Charlie's shoes can realize it's okay to ask for help, and you can get better. I promise you can. I'm not going to say it's an easy road. You admit that there's a problem and then boom, it goes away. It's gonna be a roller coaster, but you can get better and you can come out the other side. It's always sort of there, or a part of you, or I'm not trying to be like, oh, you just get over your mental issues and then they're never there anymore, but you can get through them and get to the other side. And admitting that there's a problem and asking for help is the biggest first step, and I'm so proud of Charlie. I think I was already really emotional, and then when he ended it with, I want to get better, it just, that I think is the bit that just, oh, you sweet baby boy, you're doing everything right to get better. You will get better, I promise, and I love you. I'm so proud of him, and I'm so proud of Nick, and I just am really emotional, so I think I will stop rambling here before I start full on crying again. I love this show. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance, and thank you so much for watching.